Hey there, folks. Jason here again from Blue Label Bastards Wargaming, and I hope that all of you are having a great week and a great new year so far. I am slowly getting back to normal, getting the family back to normal, trying to get through some relatively crap weather here in the greater Washington, D.C. area. But what that has given me a bit of time to do, since it's been so gross outside, is to get through some painting. So, sticking with my New Year's resolution of making sure I get at least one Bolt Action and one Hail Caesar video out per week, I wanted to give you an update here on what's been going on with the ladder. This is my fourth vlog entry, and this one's going to talk about how I finally got the casualty tokens finished, got my paint scheme set aside for the bulk of the infantry, the bulk of the army, and now I'm going to move on to infantry and artillery. So if you remember kind of where I left off in my previous videos, I had finished one of each variant of the casualty tokens. And again, casualty tokens are used in Hail Caesar in lieu of actually removing casualties as per Warhammer Fantasy. So you could have a large unit, but you don't pull any models out. You just keep track of how many casualties they've suffered, and compare that to their stamina rating. And then once a unit has taken as many or more, I believe, I have to get up on the rules, I haven't had a game yet, then its stamina rating, it is shaken, and then it could be broken. So these are kind of things that you just can kind of pass around. And you may be wondering why I spent so much time on these, and as I mentioned previously, I wanted to try out my paint schemes, including the Army Painter dip method, on models I didn't care quite as much about. Unfortunately, I have a bad habit about caring entirely too much about models I shouldn't be caring about. So I put a fair bit of time into these, but I think they came out good and they validated the paint scheme going forward. So here's what we started with. Again, just primed in black, splash of white on just to bring out some of the details. And I think this is one of the pictures you saw before. So this was the general paint scheme. Again, I went with the white, or the I guess it's more of a beigeish color smock. There's all kinds of, if you can go online, you can hear people arguing back and forth as to what color Legionaries' tunics were. Most people think they're red. Most people that aren't kind of up on the history think they're red because that's what you see in all the movies. A lot of people think that they would be white or undyed wool or whatever. My last video showed that I ended up going with a light beige white accent with a red stripe. I don't know if it's historically accurate or not, but that's what I went with. So, and then up front, I got an additional light, but I didn't feel like getting that giant light box out tonight. I like it. It's good for taking pictures, but it is kind of bulky and a pain in the butt to fold back up. So, for some reason, the camera focused on the middle and the upper row and kind of was out of focus on the bottom row. But anyways, this is what is all finished, all based and everything. So I'm really pleased with how they turned out. So the pack from Warlord came with 12 figs. They're all good-looking figs, I think. And let's just go through some of the details on some. So again, apologies for the background, but again, this should give you an idea what I did. So from the previous picture, I just went over and highlighted on the flesh. I didn't take a whole lot of time. I didn't care if the flesh itself looked a little dirty. I mean, they're casualty markers. They're supposed to be dirty. Armies on fighting are supposed to be dirty. But essentially all it was a base coat. I brushed on the Army Painter dip, and then I went over and highlighted, add the red stripe, put the base on, grass tufts, matte varnish to try to take the shine down from the dip, and then added some blood for the blood god from GW for the nice shiny blood. Another example, and here's a good shot of the transfers you can get from Warlord Games. Again, if you buy the starter set Conquest of Gaul, you don't get the transfers. I bought these separately, and they had some. It's nice that they give you some extras, but the transfers come off looking really good. Now, purists will say that most Roman shields probably didn't have the metal band around the outer edge. I left it on there for accent. My Legion innovated and does. But anyways, you can see how great the transfers look. They're custom cut. They're cut precisely for the Warlord model, so they go on without too much fuss. Just a little microset to set them up, and they end up looking pretty darn good. And just did the same thing with this model. in terms of the Blood for the Blood God. And then lastly, this is the Auxilia guy who gets a sword in the chest, and it appears to be bleeding out. But I think that ended up coming out looking pretty well. So all in all, 12 casualty markers done. I guess you can kind of sort of call that a unit, but that is one thing checked off of a very long list. So in terms of what I'm going to be working on this week and this weekend, what is that going to be for Hail Caesar? Well, now that I'm happy with the paint scheme, I think it looks good. It might take me a fair bit of time to do each one, but I think I'm faster with it now. What I'm going to try to do at least every week is try to get one row of infantry done. So this unit that I've got assembled and primed is 8 models wide by 3 models deep. So my goal every week is to get at least 8 models from priming to finished done. I'm also going to paint the tray the same color brown as the base. And so I hope to get more done than that, but that'll be like my minimum. The other thing I'm hoping to work on this week is the first of my scorpions. Now you might think that this looks a little weird in terms of how it's placed on the base. So it turns out I bought some smaller bases, and it's too much work to try to get the scorpion and the 2 crew on the base side. It's just too small. So I've got a bunch of GW chariot bases hanging around, but it would look weird, if you can imagine, if I put the scorpion kind of pointed right down the short side of the rectangle. So I did it this way, and then I'm just going to put a bunch of clump foliage and other things and spruce up the basing a little bit with some extra stuff. So this is what it's going to look like. Here's just another shot. And obviously I get a little fluff scrapings to clean up. But I'm also going to hope to work on that this weekend. So it turns out my wife and son are going to go up. It's crazy. My wife will drive the whole way to Pennsylvania from Washington, D.C. That's where she's from. But because she likes getting her hair cut up there. She likes the person that gets her hair cut. So it's a long weekend here in D.C., and my son is out of school on Friday. I have to work, so they're going to drive up, which gives me Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, because it's Martin Luther King Day. Until they come home, it's just me and the dog, which means me not exactly keeping the house clean, but hopefully doing a whole lot of painting. And I've got some other gaming coming up as well, but I hope to make some real progress on the Hail Caesar and the bolt action and a couple other things that I will be doing a separate video on later in the week. So in sum, again, casualty markers are done. It's not huge, but I can at least look over and say I've got something finished for my Hail Caesar Roman army. It's going to be cool to get on and make some real progress on the line infantry, I guess, and the accompanying Scorpion. Just in the same way I didn't like doing it for Warhammer Fantasy, churning through infantry unit soldier after soldier. Not going to be not really looking forward to that. But that's the only way you get to a painted army. So I hope all is well with you. I hope you're making some progress on your own armies. Let me know what you're working on. Incidentally, I've had real success lately getting interest in the channel. I'm up like 40 subscribers in the past month or two. So thank you to all of my new subscribers. Thank you to all of my old subscribers. Please let me know if there's other things you'd like me to be working on. I did see a request to go over an assessment of the MiG basing material, which I like a lot. I will do that separately once I get a chance to do the wet and the dry earth. So I'm going to try that out in some other models. But if there's anything else you'd like me to look at or any other comments, I would welcome them. So hope you guys are enjoying your hobby as much as I'm enjoying mine, and I will talk to you all soon. Happy wargaming.